Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable. Couple minutes no score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
It's Friday night, which means it's time to get some buckets. And you have a choice of 2 games tonight with the British Basketball League. First up, it's Bristol taking on Sheffield. Last season in the Championship, the Flyers only lost 3 games at home, but have not started this campaign particularly well. 2 home defeats already. They welcome a battling Sheffield Sharks team with a versatile lineup. Calling this one is Josh Bett and London Lion Jordan Taylor.
Well, thank you so much to hear and welcome British Basketball League fans to this epic showdown here between the Bristol Flyers and the Sheffield Sharks. Well, good evening, Basketball fans. I'm your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside superstar of the London Lions, Jordan Taylor. Jordan, welcome. But again, we're in for a big showdown here tonight.
Yes, we are, Josh, and I can't wait. Both teams coming off of big 20-point losses. Well, not 20-point losses. Started slow. Plymouth won by 5, but expect both teams to come out aggressive and sharp to start the game.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups for these 2 teams. We're going to start with the home team. Of course, the big name here is going to be Brad Green, but Royal Graham Bell really has made an impact since joining the Flyers. But also look out for Tevin Ollison. This is going to be a lineup that needs to play very big in front of their home fans to give them a bit of hope. And as Tahir said, having lost their last 2 home games. The Sheffield Sharks, on the other hand, some key players to look out for tonight. The big man, Bennett Cook, is going to have a big game here tonight as he matches up against Brad Green. But Jalen Pipkins, along with DeVell Ramsey, are going to be key players to look out for. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look out for players that you want to look out for in this game. We're going to look out for Keedy Johnson first. Now, how can we break his game down?
For Bristol, Keedy Johnson out of Dallas, Texas. He played for Bob Huggins at West Virginia, and it shows. He's a dog, he's relentless, he's tough, he attacks the rim, and he leads the BBL in total free throws. He's going to set the tone for the Flyers' aggressiveness tonight.
Well, his other rival for the Sheffield Sharks, Jalen Pipkins, and again, what a superstar he's been this season, JT.
Jalen Pipkins, also out of Texas, but Paris, Texas, and he's a Texas-sized athlete. Some say the BBL's Russell Westbrook. He's played every sport growing up except for the real football, and yes, I mean American football. This multi-sport athlete is extremely shifty. He's going to have the Sharks off and running in transition tonight.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back momentarily.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky the limit, just reachable. Your still heights achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win.
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. Let's see this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
welcome back, British Basketball League fans. We're live here in Bristol for this epic showdown between two teams who need a big victory here tonight. And you know, I'm currently live with London Lions superstar Jordan Taylor. Jordan, what is it like to play in this arena?
It's loud. It's exciting. You know, I think as an athlete, you kind of like playing in those smaller arenas, especially as a professional athlete. It takes you back to kind of your younger days, high school. It's a tight atmosphere, fans right on top of you. And when the game's tight, it gets rocking, it gets loud.
Well, to all of our fans watching across the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the British Basketball League Sheffield Sharks looking to spoil the party furthermore here for the Bristol Flyers as Brad Green is going to set to jump this one with Bennett Cook. But you always like to see the big man really make a big impact in this game. And of course, these two, they're going to have an epic showdown, a very big fight. I mean, Brad Green has already proven himself to be a very tough post player this season.
Absolutely. Already a little bit of an adjustment from the Sharks. You know, they inserted Cook into the starting lineup instead of Adekoya, most likely to match up with Brad Green.
Our three referees, Ed Udansky, Rob Hickman, and Joe Hodgson. Obviously, Udansky, a EuroLeague qualified referee, has been officiating at the highest level of European basketball for over a decade now. Bennett Cook already trying to go in and grab Brad Green and drawing a foul. You know, Bennett Cook is one of those players, when he is having a good night, he almost becomes impossible to defend.
He's one of those X factors for the Sharks. If he can get going, it kind of changes their game plan. Already got a first foul on Green. That's going to be big.
Trying to go to the pick and roll scenario. An early jump shot knocked down there from the Sharks. That is number 5, Jalen Pipkins. We talked about it pregame. You like his game so far?
Love his game. And he actually mentioned he's a LeBron fan, but his dad pushed him to watch Kobe to get good in that mid-range. And you saw it there. You see there it is. Lucas with a nice layup going right-hand drive.
Well, Lucas showing no fear whatsoever, attacking the Sharks defense, getting inside the paint. Sharks trying to settle into a half court here. Again, a team that's played very well on the road so far this season, apart from their previous game against Plymouth. Cook again looking for that post up. Comes in for the tough jumper, can't get it. That's something we're going to see between these two teams tonight, Jordan.
Coach Lyons already making it a point to go right at Brad Green. He's not the best defender, but he's extremely dangerous on the offensive end as you see him going at it on the other end right away over that left shoulder.
Well, Green had the mismatch against Rotino, but was unable. What a bounce pass, finds Cook. Cook goes in and throws it down with one hand, but what a dime coming from DeVell Ramsey.
Good start for Cook. And we mentioned Jalen Pipkins at the top being the Russell Westbrook, but DeVell Ramsey actually might be the real Westbrook. He gets that ball off the rim just like Russ and gets in transition.
Well, Lucas finding Graham Bell here. Now the Flyers, a team that predominantly do like to shoot from the perimeter. Sharks defense proven to be a little bit too much here. Again, trying to find the big man, but good hands by Brad Green. You like to see what both teams are doing now, really forcing the issue with their big man inside the post.
Absolutely, and that's the part of the aggressiveness that you need to see. Kind of set the tone physically, go at the other team. Neither team has a shot blocker, so it's going to be interesting to see who kind of gets the upper hand there.
Graham Bell goes to the three-pointer, can't get it. Rotino secures a rebound. Ramsey finding a bit of space now, puts up a little teardrop. But again, these are good looks from both teams and unable to knock them down here early on.
Ramsey struggled this year with the shooting percentage. He's so good at getting in the paint. I think he just needs to get on better balance, make better decisions. That's going to raise his field goal percentage.
A tough drive going to the basket again, unable to convert it. That one was by Tevin Ollison. Sharks still leaded by 2 points. Again, they had a tough game on the road in the Southwest when they played Plymouth. That was right off their victory against Sheffield. Cook goes up, but they're going to call an offensive foul now. JT, we are going to see a replay momentarily, but I want you to break that one down.
I can't lie to you. I'm just as confused as Bennett Cook right there. A little bump, Brad. Those are two big fellas down there. You like to see the refs let them battle it out. As Denzel said, and remember the Titans, let the boys play.
Classical film of the ages, of course. Green getting a handoff. Keedy Johnson now inside the lane. Flyers with time expiring here on the shot clock. Got to get something going. Goes to the tough one-legged fadeaway. And again, another poor shot there from the Flyers.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. They have to be more patient and more precise with their movements and their action.
Well, this time the foul is called against Brad Green. It is called against Brad Green, but again, going back to what I said, you love to see what the Sharks are doing, everything being, of course, the focal point for Bennett Cook on the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Bennett Cook for being prepared for that game plan. As you see, Green goes to the bench with his second foul already. We'll see how Bristol adjusts and attacks, counterattacks the Sharks here.
Now, you make a good point there. They're trying to get Bennett, of course, Brad Green into a bit of foul trouble. But, you know, in that kind of offense where you are trying to force the ball inside the big man, is that a case of trying to make the defense collapse and free up everything on the perimeter?
You know, in this case, I really think it's just to get Brad Green off the floor. I think that as a Flyers fan or coach or whatever, you rely on Brad Green to kind of stop that one-on-one and not collapse.
Well, Pipkins tried to make the penetration, goes out of bounds, but the Sharks will get it back on the baseline with 5 seconds left here on the shot clock. Bertino gets a little bit of space, unable to get the three-pointer off, and he fumbles it. Now they have numbers. He tries to go himself. And the follow-up is good by Graham Bell there. Nice little follow-up, but it was a 3-on-1 in transition. Nobody from the Sharks making an effort to get back on defense.
Yeah, that's tough when you turn it over like that. And the Sharks have been good this year in the turnover department. I think they ranked 9th, only 10 turnovers a game. There, that one came back to bite them.
Smith trying to match up here with Bennett Cook again. Good defense. Forcing Cook into a tough shot. Can the Flyers take the lead? Again, they turn it right back over. Poor passing from the Flyers. Pipkins down the lane, draws a contact. Count it! Well, he's going to go to the free throw line here for the three-point play. Jalen Pipkins doing what he does best, JT.
Just like we talked about, he gets in transition, he's unstoppable. I've seen him in transition a few times, and honestly, I've thought about just getting out of the way. I like my job, though. I want to keep it, so I decided to try and play a little defense.
Hey, you mentioned Coach Atiba Lions earlier. You know, this is a team that did defeat you guys last season, not once, but twice, I believe. You know, what is it about the style of Sheffield Sharks and Atiba Lions coaching that makes them such a tough team to play against?
You know, like I said, they're fearless. Jalen Pipkins, he gets downhill. DeVerl Ramsey, he gets the ball off the rim, and he makes tough shots. When he's making tough shots, they are a tough team to guard. Bertino gives them a little versatility, and Adekoya, who was in Leicester last year, gives them even more added versatility. But they're a scrappy team.
Flies at the moment, trailing by 3 points. Got off to a good start and an opening win in the Southwest Derby against the Plymouth City Patriots. Smith going for the post-up, can't get it. Graham Bell with the offensive board. The putback and second chance points could be a big thing for the Bristol Flyers.
Absolutely. Second chance points are always a thing, no matter who you are and who you're playing with.
Both teams, again, just trying to assert themselves in this game and find that identity in their offense. Stewart going a bit of a give-and-go pick-and-roll scenario here. Bertino draws a foul. He'll go to the free throw line, and you know, he has struggled from the perimeter this season so far, but you know, there's a lot more to his game that he offers to this team in their offense.
Absolutely, and even when he's struggling from the perimeter, a guy like that, he's still a threat. You have to honor him, and that opens up the floor, and it allows him to do things like that to cut to the basket when you might not necessarily expect it.
Originally from Concord, California, went to De La Salle, graduated in 2016. Also played at the University of San Francisco in his final season in 34 games, averaging just under 9 points per game. Now he also holds Portuguese citizenship, but started his professional career playing in Germany. And of course, you know, through your experience here, you played in some of the top professional leagues. You played in the EuroLeague for that matter as well. German basketball. You know,
absolutely. And Germany was interesting. It's had a little bit of a transition. When I was there, it was a little bit more Serbian-inspired, which means tough, physical, full-court pickup, to now the Spanish style, which is a little more creative, passing, things like that.
We'll run to halfway here in the first quarter. It's going to be a turnover. Sharks will get it back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to just take a short little break as we will be back very soon.
Everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Your silver heights achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out, stop. And we're running out the clock. I fail once they stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Clock's turn, watch and learn. How many years been working for my
take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans. We're live here in Bristol for this big game between our hosts, the Flyers, and the visitors, Sheffield Sharks. But, right now, both teams, feeling a bit uncomfortable in their offense. I mean, the turnovers have been pretty high early on.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, talking about aggressiveness. Both these teams coming off of losses. When you have that, it's going to be more of a little football style, American football, where it's aggressive. It makes it harder to get into your offense and takes each team out of rhythm.
Sharks, of course, just trying to battle down and break the full court pressing from the Flyers. Left wide open, bit of a hesitation. Again, unable to knock down the shot. That's almost like gift wrap present there.
That was also a good misdirection from Terrell Allen right there. A nice little left to right crossover. That was pretty.
Well, going up and getting rejected against his own offensive board, but offensive rebounds has been the bread and butter for this team, JT.
Absolutely, and that's Leslie Smith. He's second on the team with 2.5 offensive rebounds, and the team is first in the league in offensive rebounds at 13 a game.
Kipper Nichols checking into the game for the Sharks. Sheffield just trailing by a slender 1 point early on, but 6 seconds here on the shot clock. Again, Pipkins just fumbling that one out of bounds. And you mentioned turnovers in Sheffield Sharks. This is a team, as good as they are, they do struggle to take care of the rock.
They actually, I think they turn it over at the lowest rate in the league, actually 10 a game, and they're already at 4. So that's good versatility there by Leslie Smith. Quick, big fella, light on his feet.
Turnaround fadeaway there by Graham Bell, unable to knock that one down. Sharks at the moment trying to regain the lead. Always tough to play here on the road in the Southwest. Adekoya giving this one up here, trying to break the defense down. Pulls up in the mid-range. Well, just gets a little shooter's roll on it, and again, a nice little move from the mid-range.
Sheffield likes to live in that mid-range. Terrell Allen, Jalen Pipkins, DeVeral Ramsey, they get their money in that mid-range.
Well, you can see Hollis and Corey Samuels also checking in with Johnson Smith and Roel Graham Bell currently on the floor here for the Flyers. Again, suffocated defense, but again, the Flyers get it back. Samuels going in with a nice little shift and bacon. I don't know if you call that the Euro Great Britain step maybe, but Samuels making it count inside the lane.
Corey Samuels making his minutes count on the scouting report. It's always stop him going right. Apparently he's reading his own report because he went back to his left there. A pretty little move.
Allen again coming off one ball screen, gets a switch on defense. Nichols going to get called for the offensive foul. Well, again, this is what I like to have an analyst with me all the time, especially professionals such as Azania Stewart and Rowan yourself. But I'm going to let you break this one down.
Yeah, that's just great defense from Corey Samuels. He's moving there, and a lot of times they say you have to be stationary, but he established guarding position. He got hit in the chest by Kipper Nichols, and that's textbook right there.
Well, we're going to have a little timeout, but I don't know if you saw that, but Dejan Lucas just saying to Corey Samuels, the little Euro step. We gotta label that one. That is the Euro Bristolian step that he made on the previous play.
The Euro Bristolian step. I don't know if I'm going to give him that, but I'll let you give that one to him. It was a nice move, though.
Well, Andreas Kapoulis just talking over with his players, as is the team Alliance. Both teams locked in at 10 apiece, and going back to Sheffield's game against Plymouth last week, it was very tough for them, trailing by a big margin, but also almost getting back in that one. But it's always tough to go on the road here in the Southwest.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Sheffield, one thing you asked me earlier, what's tough about them? They don't go away. And even that game, they got down 20 in the first half against Plymouth. They cut it to 5. Bristol's similar, though, so this is going to be a tight one all day.
Of course, if you are a Team Alliance calling this timeout early in the game, what would the message be to your players at this moment?
I would say just keep chipping away. Like we said, it's going to be a physical game. They turning the ball over more than they would like. Got to get back to the ways, run their stuff, get the ball where it needs to be in the hands of Jalen Pipkins. Let Adekoya get to work in the block and show his nice footwork, but just kind of stay the course and let things play out, and they'll be all right.
Of course, we mentioned, you highlighted very well that Sheffield is one of the teams here in the British Basketball League that do a phenomenal job of having the least amount of turnovers, but at the moment, already 5 turnovers for the Sharks.
Very uncharacteristic of them. The good thing, they are matching them somewhat on the boards. 3 offensive rebounds for Bristol. Sheffield's not a great rebounding team, so that's another thing that they're going to have to get right.
Keedy Johnson playing the point guard so far for the Flyers. Thomas Edwards also checking in. Nice spin-out move going baseline by Leslie Smith, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots. I mean, he is a tough player to guard in the low post.
Absolutely, and I absolutely love that matchup between Leslie Smith and Jabril Adekoya. They're almost carbon copies of one another, and they really should know each other's moves. It's kind of like that Spider-Man gif when they're kind of pointing at each other. It's the same one. That's kind of what I think of, but a nice move there by Leslie Smith.
Finished his NCAA career at the University of Nebraska. Plus then started his professional career in 2015 in Bolivia. Also played in Georgia, in Tbilisi. But joined this Bristol team as of 2016. So quite an experienced professional to play in all parts of the world.
Absolutely. And the most impressive part of the world is Big Ten country, University of Nebraska. I'm a fellow Big Ten alum out of Wisconsin, so we always got love for each other.
Graham Bell trying to make it very tough again. Bristol putting on this full court pressure. You know, whenever you got a full court press like this, you know, as being a point guard, a backcourt player yourself, what is the best way to break down a man-to-man press?
Honestly, catch the ball as high as you can. Coach Bozic was on me in the Euro Cup game about that, catching it too low, so you have to catch it high, allow yourself not to be trapped, and really just get out of the way and beat your man one-on-one.
Well, great defense by Leslie Smith, becoming a solid insurance policy for the Flyers. Bristol leading by 3. Trying to extend this to a 2-possession ball game. Pulls off in the mid-range, tries to go way off the backboard, and thank goodness that wasn't made out of glass.
Yeah, I think you got to close the windows there. That's a tough one. Maybe the wind blew that one off the glass. That's a tough shot there.
Well, Sheffield unable to capitalize. Bristol again, these two teams just trying to find themselves early on in this game. Smith pops out off the ball screen. Looking to attack here, almost fumbles. Goes in for the tough fadeaway, but unable to get it. Bristol at the moment maybe just a bit out of sorts in their offense.
Yeah, settling for some tough shots, seem a little out of whack, a little off balance, but you know, one thing I love about Bristol is they're not going to stop. There's a nice defensive play. That's a second charge. That's Keedy Johnson getting back in front of his man.
Well, again, another charge is going to be called here against the Sheffield Sharks. This time it's on Idle Rock. So the second offensive foul already called here against Sheffield. Bristol's defense showing to be a little bit more quicker, a little bit more agile than the Sheffield Sharks offense.
And if you're Coach Kapoulis, you love that. You force them into 6 turnovers now, 7 turnovers. So, like I said, season average is 10. That's already an advantage. That's something that you love out of the gates.
Thomas Edwards trying to go baseline. Adekoya with a good help side defense. That goes out of bounds. Another Bristol turnover. I mean, how can we break this down? Can we say this has been good defense in both teams, or maybe the offense just lacking a little bit of focus?
I think it's right on par for what we talked about. Like I said, physicality is generally going to breed lack of rhythm and take teams out of whack. And right now, that's exactly what you're seeing. In college, my coach he would say an AAU game broke out. It's a little ugly, but expect these teams to settle in as the game goes on. 12-9 is a low score, obviously.
7 turnovers already here from the Sharks. We'll make that number 8 now. But the thing here for both these two teams is, can they convert these turnovers into transition points? Smith thought about the 3-pointer, not the shot he takes, but tries to go backdoor. Goes up in another redraw. This time the foul's gonna be called, so 2 free throws coming up for Graham Bell for the Bristol Flyers.
I love what Keedy Johnson did there. He had an opportunity off the turnover to get downhill, maybe drive into a crowd. Took his time, got into their secondary offense, and they ended up, Leslie Smith finds Tevin Ollison, who gets a little lucky bounce, and they get to the free throw line with Graham Bell.
Well, really came into his own when he played in the NBL for the former Leeds Carnegie under the great Matt Newby, and then spent some time playing abroad in Spain, but came back to the UK to play for the Plymouth City Patriots in the 2021-22 season, and unfortunately had a horrific knee injury last season. Was unable to feature for the Newcastle Eagles, but makes the second free throw. Bristol again putting on this full court pressure. Nine seconds difference between game and shot clock. Ramsey again, another Sharks turnover, and again, you mentioned it, very uncharacteristic here from Sheffield Sharks.
Absolutely, and this plays into the favor of Bristol. There you go, Ollison in the paint. That's exactly what you want to finish the quarter. A great shot. Unfortunately, Keedy couldn't knock that down.
Well, Sharks have a bit of time here. Ramsey looking to go all the way, puts up a one-legged three-pointer, goes off the backboard, but unable to knock it down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for a break, and we will be back very shortly.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Your some heights achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of start, and we're running out of clock. I fail once from the start. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. Haven't seen this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans, as we get the second quarter underway here between our hosts, the Bristol Flyers, and the visitors, Sheffield Sharks. Well, I am currently commentating this game alongside London Lions superstar Jordan Taylor. JT, we're looking at this game, of course. We talked about the turnovers from the Sheffield Sharks, but 0 fast break points coming from the Bristol Flyers.
Yeah, that's almost unheard of. Honestly, if I was a coach, I'd probably make Bristol get on the line and run in practice. If you get that many 8 turnovers and no fast break points, really just means a lack of focus and a lack of execution.
Well, 2 possession lead here for the Flyers. Flyers also have 4 turnovers themselves. Trying to take this one to the lane now. Good defense by Terrell Allen. As Cook secures a rebound for the Sharks.
You know, it's been Bristol's problem all year, I think, just shot selection. They have shot makers, but sometimes you have to take good shots. And that's the problem when you lose so many guys and add new ones. It takes a minute to gel, so expect them to get back on track.
Smith trying to be aggressive with Bennett Cook, not allowing him to get a post up. But now they go to Adekoya. Caught in the double team, takes a tough mid-range. Back iron, can't convert it.
Both teams forcing each other into tough shots.
Well, Thomas Edwards wide open in the corner, takes a 3, and the first triple of the game goes to the Flyers as Raven Thomas Edwards nailing in the corner.
That's what Bristol needs more from Tevin Ollison. Get in the paint, collapse the defense. It opens up easy shots for Rafa Edwards-Thomas.
Well, Adekoya trying to dish it over. It's another turnover here from the Sharks. But at the moment, Atiba Lyons, he wants a foul call because he felt that man Adekoya was impeded when he made that penetration. Tough game, I say. He's got to play physical.
Yep. We knew it was coming.
Seven-point lead to the Flyers. Potentially could make this a double-digit deficit if they go for another tray ball. Only 1 3-pointer has been made between these 2 teams so far. There's a kick out. Thomas Edwards pump fakes. Maybe 1 too many passes. Ramsey now in transition. Tries to go the length of the court. A strong move there by DeVoe Ramsey going coast to coast.
And conversely, that's what they have to do. Defense to offense, convert those turnovers. Tough shot there by Ramsey.
Well, Ramsey fighting all over the floor, and I don't know if they've called the foul here against, no. points against the Flyers, but there you can see we talked about fast break points. That's the 7th transition point coming from the Sheffield Sharks. I mean, no, the foul's been called against the Sharks. Actually, you know, Coach Capoulas has got to be infuriated with his players.
For sure. And for Bristol, you got to look at it. 7 points, 11 points total, 7 out of fast break. You take care of the ball, and I don't know where Sheffield's going to get their offense from right now.
Flyers again trying to get into a system here. Throwing down to Smith. Smith going baseline, but good defense by Bennett Cook. And again, it's another turnover, and that's going to be number 6 here for the Bristol Flyers.
This is a very sloppy game, Josh. Both coaches are going to be at the halftime, in the halftime locker room with a lot of words for their players.
Well, correction, my apologies. That was the 7th turnover. At the moment, you kind of think that at this point, the team who might win this game might be the one who's able to convert these turnovers into those transition points. But at the moment, it's only Sheffield Sharks that have 7 of those.
Seems like right now, whoever just throws the ball at the basket might get the win.
Well, Adekoya under pressure. Tries to go in with the George Gervin-esque finger roll, but can't convert it. Tries to go in, but a good rejection by Bennett Cook.
Same thing there for Bristol. Lucas gets in the paint. He collapses the defense. He has to be able to find a teammate and create a better shot for his teammates rather than throwing up that tough left-hander.
That's a nice little Euro step in the lane, but you know, what's surprising there? Nobody's crashing in for an offensive board.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you break down the defense, you get in the paint and you take tough shots. It catches your teammates off guard. They're not in position to go to the offensive glass.
Well, 4 of those offensive rebounds have gone to the Bristol Flyers. Brad Green checking back into the game. Can the big man make a difference? But Green does has 2 personal fouls already. He doesn't want to pick up a 3rd one before the second half. Samuels getting this back, finding an opening. Takes a tough pull up from the mid-range, can't get it. Sharks able to keep the Flyers off the offensive boards.
You don't mind that pull up from Corey Samuels. Good offense, the ball moves side to side. He got to his spot, it's just a missed shot.
Stewart now under intense pressure. Gets the drop on it, and that's kind of the shot you take in a game of horse.
It's a welcome sight for the Sharks to finally get a basket in the half court. A little bit different of a pull-up, and you're just happy that it went down, but too much dribbling there, and I don't know if Coach Lyons is going to want to rely on that.
Green catching a tough pass in the post. Going for that nice little turnaround, but can't get it. He draws a foul against Bennett Cook, and a much better job there by Brad Green, competing very aggressively against his counterpart.
Absolutely. He's had some time on the bench to think about what Bennett Cook was doing to him in the first quarter, and it looks like he wants to come back and assert some of his aggressiveness here in the second.
He was teammates in university with one of your London Lions teammates.
Yes, was he?
UC Irvine, Luke Nelson.
Oh,
when Nelson was a senior, Brad Green was a freshman.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I'm sure he enjoyed playing with Luke, the GB general. One of my favorite teammates, honestly. Luke is a fiery competitor, man. More text than anybody I know, but, you know, that's just a sign of competitiveness.
Well, Green makes the second free throw. They're still trying to build a bit of a cushion between them and the Sharks. Ramsey just avoiding the backcourt violation, I guess. Little Rock here, unable to get something going. Comes that pick and roll again, Routinho, and again just dribbles into traffic. Can the Flyers convert something here? Going pick and roll with Corey Samuels yet again. Stewart trying to prevent him from going for a penetration. Big man posts up under pressure, no problem. The green light is on inside the post for the Flyers.
It was obviously a point of emphasis for Coach Capoulas and Coach Lyons to get the ball inside and be aggressive, be physical, and try and get some easy buckets through their bigs.
7-point lead for the Bristol Flyers. Ramsey kicks out. They go for a tray ball themselves. And again, they get in the... There's a little bit of magicry going on here, a bit of abracadabra on these shots.
There's energy in that ball, and magic happens when you get the ball movement and everybody gets to touch it, and good things tend to happen. We call that the basketball gods.
Green caught in a bit of trouble. Johnson now, bit of contact, puts up the circus shot, doesn't get the and one. But Keedy Johnson will go to the free throw line now here for 2 shots.
Keedy Johnson finally making his first trip to the free throw line. We mentioned he's first in the BBL, and he has made a living off of that. He mentioned his father before the game. He mentioned his father tells him every game, go get your money. And we know, us basketball players, go get your money means go get it at the free throw line. Get to the line. Anytime you make 2 free throws, that generally gives you about 2-3 extra field goal attempts that you can feel comfortable about whether make or miss. And, you know, he has a heck of a story with his mother and his father. Father went to prison for some time, and his mom has woken up at 3 a.m. Monday through Saturday for a long time to support him. And a lot of his chip on his shoulder comes from that drive from his mom and his father as well.
Phenomenal story there for Keedy Johnson. Played his university basketball his first 2 years in junior college for Temple College, and then finished at the West Virginia University in his final season. 33 games, averaged just under 12 points. And again, that's just an inspiring story about a tough professional.
Absolutely, and hopefully, you know, he gets to talk to his dad before every game, he says, through his mom. They connect 2 phones. It's a pretty crazy story, and, you know, you just hope they get reunited soon.
Flyers unable to secure the rebound, so it will be baseline possession for the Sheffield Sharks. Sharks get this one inbound. Again, make this another turnover for the Sheffield Sharks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, currently Bristol Flyers leading 22-16 against the Sheffield Sharks. But we're going to take a break, and we'll be back shortly.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky the limit, you're so high, it's achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail once they stop. I am unbeatable, I am unbeatable. Clock's turn, watch and learn. How many years been working for my flying over.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans. And again, if you are watching us live on the YouTube stream, please hit that like button. But also tomorrow, the big game will be between Surrey Scorchers. That's at 5 p.m. on YouTube as they take on the Cheshire Phoenix. Make sure you tune in. But please, if you are watching us live on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and also let us know your name, where you're watching, which team you're supporting, so we can give you a shout out. Flyers now looking to extend a 6-point lead. Penetration by Lucas, bit of contact, goes up, count it! Gets the and one again. He's going to make this a potential 3-point play.
Great ATO from Coach Kapoulis. ATO stands for after timeout. A little Iverson action for Keedrian Johnson. That was misdirection to get it back to Lucas, going downhill to his right hand. Did a great job at taking his time once he got in the paint, finishing through contact. Hoop plus the harm, and that's what you need for Bristol.
I mean, he's an exciting backcourt player. Brings a lot of energy as he's unable to make the 3-point play, but another offensive board for the Flyers.
That's been Sheffield's Achilles heel, and that's been Bristol's knight in shining armor all year.
Well, slipping and sliding in and around the defense and looking like a ninja. Tevin Ollison making it look easy.
Beautiful move by Tevin Ollison. Last 2 possessions there, Lucas and Ollison get in the paint, take their time, finish strong and under control, and that's definitely a sign of progression. You love to see that if you're Coach Kapoulis.
biggest lead of the game for the Flyers. Sheffield in need of some inspiration in their offense. Nichols going baseline, nowhere to go here. Stewart had the three, but pulls up for a tough mid-range. Again, Sheffield unable to get anything going in their offense.
Bristol starting to assert their will now a little bit. They're sharp on offense, they're still sound on defense.
Brad Green trying to go for the cross-court baseline in the corner, but took a deflection, so it will be Flyers ball with 3:45 to go here in the first half.
Last possession, Brad Green looked pretty swift on his feet for a big fella. Stayed in front of Kipper Nichols. That's a tough matchup for him, especially with 2 fouls.
Fakes the ball screen, puts a little teardrop, nothing but net. Smooth move going straight to the bucket. Again, he is feeling the confidence.
That is a tough shot from Keedy Johnson. That one-handed floater in the mid-range. You got to be on balance over a defender. That's something you definitely have to practice.
Sharks at the moment, they need this three-pointer. 3 is up, 3 is good. Will settle their confidence.
Big shot there from Parker Stewart. Kind of get Sheffield going a little bit, calm the nerves, hopefully.
Well, Bristol went for the quick 3 in transition. Sharks with a chance to chip into deficit. Bertino with a bit of time and space, and back-to-back three-pointers. Sharks making it rain. Bristol having to call timeout as their 12-point lead has been sliced in half to 6.
That's a 6-point swing there, and that's exactly what we're talking about from Tevin Ollison. You've just gotten downhill a couple different times, and then you settle for a 3. I know he can make that shot. He can knock it down. He's an explosive scorer. But in that situation, you have the momentum. Don't give it back to Sheffield. Get in the paint again. Get a better shot for your teammates. And that's one of the progressions that Bristol needs to make if they want to grow into the team that they were last year.
So that was what I was going to ask you, because it was an interesting shot selection. You got the lead. They just made 1 3, cutting it down to 9 points. But had they been making their perimeter shots early, would that have been a shot you necessarily wouldn't have argued about him taking?
If he personally is making the shot, it's kind of a heat check. You remember NBA Jam or NBA Street when you were a kid? It's like, he's on fire. But, you know, he's not setting the world on fire right now. I think he's only got 2 points, a field goal. I think he's 1 for 4 from the field. You're getting in the paint. Make your teammates better. What happens is a long rebound, you don't get your defense set, and then Sheffield comes down and Ratinho puts one right in your eyes, and now your lead's only 6 as opposed to 12, as you said.
You know, another question I want to ask you when it comes to taking 3s in transition, because, you know, it is the modern day era where, you know, you want to get as much from the perimeter. You've played in Pro A in France, you played in the Turkish Basketball Super League, the Japanese B League. You know, what is the thing when coaches say to you, do or do not take the 3 in transition? Because sometimes the most wide open 3-pointers you get are in transition.
Absolutely. Some guys have that green light. If you play with Matt Morgan, it's a little different story. Steph Curry has kind of ruined the illusion, but there's still such thing as a good shot and a good 3, and generally that's after the ball is moved and the energy shared. It's a tough turnover there from Keedy Johnson. He got in the paint, and just a tough pass there to Graham Bell.
Well, Keedy Johnson single-handedly broke down the full-court pressure. Again, it's that poor pass. That's got to kill your confidence.
It doesn't kill your confidence. Honestly, someone like Keedy Johnson, I don't know if you can kill his confidence, and that's what you love about a guy like that, and he'll be right back in the paint next possession. You just want to see him make a better decision.
Well, speaking of confidence, Newcastle on a 6-0 run here from the back-to-back 3 points, but again, they turn it right back over. And as you mentioned, JT, very uncharacteristic from Sheffield.
Yeah, they seem, again, out of sorts, and hats off to Bristol for that defensive pressure and shrinking the paint, making it tough on them.
Well, nice pass coming from Ratinho, finding Kipper Nichols. Tough pass in the corner, but another 3 is up, and make that 3 tray balls in a row. Oh, JT, you might need to get your umbrella, because they are making it rain.
And that's Jalen Pipkins right there. Haven't seen a lot of him, but he's as efficient as always. And, you know, I just can't help but think that started from the Tevin Ollison 3.
Well, Sheffield took the gamble on defense, and it led to a wide-open tray ball, and that's now the second one. Keedy Johnson getting his confidence going for the perimeter.
Big shot from Keedy Johnson. That's a big answer to stop the run. And the 2 stars are getting going now, and that's what we came to see.
Well, both teams in the first quarter found it tough to get going, but nice little dump down, finding Kipper Nichols, who's unable to convert the 3-point play, but he will go the charity stripe for 2 free throws.
Feel the tempo picking up a little bit here. Each team kind of finding the rhythm offensively. As the game goes on, the aggressiveness tends to wear down a bit. You can't keep up that physical play forever, and both teams are kind of settling in. Still too many turnovers, but the ball's moving and better decisions are being made.
Well, we'd like to give a shout out for Stephen Burgess, currently watching this game in Hull, as well as Jonathan Podmore. And again, Basel fans, please let us know in the live chat where you're watching, which team you're supporting, and which team you'll think will win this game between the Bristol Flyers and the Sheffield Sharks. Okay, it's very interesting when you look at Kipper Nichols' game because, sometimes I personally find it hard to, really establish what his position is because, he's such a talented player. There's a lot he would offer. But what is his predominant role for the Sheffield Sharks team?
Swiss Army knife. He does it all. I think you could probably even put him at the 1 if Coach Lyons really wanted to, but he really just does everything. Similar to that guy right there, Thomas Edwards.
I was just about to say, you might need to call the principal because he's playing a little bit of bully ball there against Rotino, making it now a 6-point game for the Bristol Flyers.
He reminds me of Anthony Mason. I don't know if you're old enough for that reference, are you?
Oh, New York Knicks, baby, yeah.
There you go. There you go. That's a big physical guy right there.
I'm trying to think who disliked him more, Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen. I'm not going to remember Anthony Mason at the Charlotte Hornets, of course.
Yeah, well.
Those were injury days. Well, Kipper left wide open, and the Swiss Army knife unable to hit the wide open three-pointer.
Right, you'll live with that. Those are one open shot. First one was a little questionable, but you got the offensive rebound, and you can get your defense set when you have good shots like that.
Johnson now coming off a ball screen with Leslie Smith. Good hands here for the Sharks.
Keedy Johnson got very lucky there that the ball went out of bounds. I think he was on the verge of committing an unsportsmanlike foul.
Playing the level that you've played at, you've played in some of the best leagues I've already mentioned here. Explain the unsportsmanlike foul to some of our viewers that are unfamiliar, because remember, a lot of fans do watch NBA. They're used to hearing the flagrant foul. But what is the danger of committing those fouls in transition that may lead to the unsportsmanlike?
Do you want the honest truth?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I have no clue. I've been playing basketball overseas. This is 12 years now. I think the danger sometimes is when you're not going for the ball, of course, and you're making a play, and it seems like, it's a dirty play on the player or what have you. Not too many guys, in my experience, do that. It's more of a, you might be going for the ball, or maybe it's even a reaction, and it seems like you're not going for the ball. Maybe in that instance there, Keedy got ripped, and I think his natural reaction was just kind of to kind of grab, get on balance, and just happens to grab the guy. Not too often do you see guys making actual dirty plays, so I'm not a big fan of the unsportsmanlike foul the way that it's called. I do understand that it's for the safety of the game.
Because that's what you play in the Euro Cup with the Lions. You played EuroLeague as well. At top-level continental European basketball, you do see it called quite often.
Quite often. Last game against Venice, I got a steal. I believe it was Amir Sims who kind of reached behind me, and he grabbed my arm. He was going for the ball, but he grabbed my arm, and the great thespian and the actor that I am flailed all over, fell on the ground, and got an unsportsmanlike call, knowing the rule. But in all honesty, I don't think it was a dangerous play. I don't think it was a dirty play. It looked a little crazy, but it's just it's a tough rule, and it's part of the game.
Of course, that rule has adapted over the years in international basketball. If you are familiar to watching NBA, the equivalent of that would be the flagrant foul, which does have different rules, mind you. But at the moment, you currently have 8 seconds difference between game and shot clock. McCoy getting off the ball screen, unable to finish now. He did grab the, but it won't matter at this point because he does miss.
Great ATO by Coach Lyons. You get your best player, Jalen Pipkins, in an empty side ball screen. That means nobody in the corner, nobody to help on Adekoya. He just blew the layup.
Flyers can't have the last shot. They turn it over. 1 second now. Has to force this one up. And again, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the first half, Bristol lead this 33-27. And we're going to take a short break.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost the heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of start, and we're running out of clock. I fail once from the start. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
sharp even when a ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Lewis throwing it. Oh! And there's our posterizer slapping his head top again. Legion Robertin putting a body.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that is top 10, maybe number 1.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans, to this matchup between the Bristol Flyers and the Sheffield Sharks. Well, I'm your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside London Lions superstar Jordan Taylor. JT, how can we summarize this first half between these two teams?
One word, ugly. Ugly. It was ugly. A lot of turnovers. Uncharacteristic of Sheffield, somewhat characteristic of Bristol. And I expect both coaches to try and get that ironed out at first half in the halftime locker room. One bright side is you did see a little bit more rhythm there at the end of the first half from both sides.
Well, let's take a look at the statistics from the first half, and at the moment you can see the three-point shooting did improve somewhat there in the second quarter, but the turnovers has been a big talking point. There you can see a combined total 23 turnovers between these two teams.
Yes, Sheffield 12 turnovers. They averaged 10 on the season. That's number 1 in the BBL. Bristol at 11. Bristol 19 total rebounds. They've been beating up the glass as we expected. They lead the league in offensive rebounds as we mentioned, and still Sheffield struggling from the field. That's going to happen when you don't have rhythm and you're turning the ball over.
Well, 19 rebounds in total for the Bristol Flyers, as you mentioned, JT. But I think right now, let's take a look at the story of the half between these two teams right from the get-go. And as you mentioned, a combined total of 23 turnovers. It's been a very, very tough game for both of them at the moment.
Yeah, and there you see a nice move by Lucas, and that's what he has to do. He's done that a couple times where he gets in the paint, he's unbalanced, he goes up strong, and that's exactly what you like to see if you're Coach Kapoulis there. If you're Sheffield, like we talked about, we want to get out in transition, we want to run, we want to hit the big fella, we want to get easy buckets as we struggle to score all year long.
Well, transition points has been a bit of an issue so far from the Bristol Flyers. Maybe something they can improve in the second half, but rebounds has been imperative, especially second chance points. We mentioned the bread and butter for the Bristol Flyers.
One thing that you can always hang your hat on as a player, as a team, as a coach, if you can get offensive rebounds, you get yourself more chances to shoot the ball at the basket, and that, my people, is a good thing. So anytime you can do that is great, and Bristol has done it well all year long, and really that's the advantage right now.
Well, there you can see the first three-pointer of the game coming from Rafa Thomas-Edwards, but again, it was a good three-point shooting quarter in the second for the Sharks.
The ball started popping. They were moving it side to side. There's energy in the ball. Share the ball. Get out in transition as Routinho knocks it down, and let's have fun.
Well, Routinho making the big three-pointer, but of course, at the moment, it's still a 6-point game here to the Sheffield Sharks. That was Jalen Pipkins in the corner, but at the moment, as we mentioned, Bristol Flyers currently leading 33-27 against Sheffield. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you now a little bit of a promo on last night's big game in the opening night for Caledonia Gladiators' new arena, and also we'll show the highlights in their victory against Surrey Scorchers.
If you were to say to me even 12 months ago, European basketball, own arena, I think I'd have just laughed at you, to be honest. About 12 months ago, we were approached by the BBC who were interested in filming a sports documentary.
It's make or break for Scotland's only professional men's basketball.
From where the club was and during that documentary series to where the club is now, this place wasn't even built. We're talking 5-6 months later, we're in our own facility. It means a lot to the club. We can now build something. This is an actual home for us.
This is literally our home, which is a great feeling, and it's something that I think we can use to our advantage.
This is a club for all of Scotland. If you look at the seats, we've got the St Andrew's Cross, obviously, very firmly emblazoned on them.
Every team that comes up here has to hate coming to Glasgow or coming to East Kilbride. They know that they step on that court, it's never going to be an easy game, and we want to come out with a win every time, protect our home court.
Oh, the sea parts and the drive and the harm. We'll see how Surrey can answer now after going on a 7-0 run. They find themselves down 9-7. They go back to Robinson, who's off the mark. Already hit 1-3, can't connect there. And back come the Gladiators. They're going to push it and pull the trigger on a 3 and hit. And that is a 5-point swing right there. Ooh, wow, that is a tough shot with a man in your face, and Jovicic having no problem. Nice steal there. Jamieson making amends for his last foul, leaves it, and nice putback. 10-point with 3 to go. Shot clock at 9. Lawrence with the ball. Lawrence drives, beautiful 15-footer, and drills it. Shot clock only at 11. Josh Steele. Boom! Wow. And now it is a 3-point game. Oh, and 1. Well done, Clifton Moore Jr.
Oh, we are in for a cracking final 10 minutes of play.
Final seconds for Caledonia to push the lead by 2 more. Up and over, it won't fall. And just as time expires, the Gladiators get 2 more. Ball bouncing around and another turnover at the worst possible time. Caledonia now. Oh, there it is! Our first dunk. Hello, Ali Hodgic.
Wow.
Alley-oop and a throwdown. Oh, my goodness. Caught that with one hand, and Wayne just threw it down hard. Under 2 to go. Shot clock now at 5. Shot doesn't go, but the tip-in goes. You got to be kidding me. Just like Pharaoh Ali Hodgett planned it. Up and under, and that will be game. 86-79, Caledonia defends the home castle.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. There must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky the limit, it's reachable. Lost the heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of start, and we're running out of clock. I feel what's gonna stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win.
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Lewis throwing it. Oh! And there's our
Posterizer slapping his head top again. Legion Robertin putting a body.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that is top 10, maybe number 1.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans. At the moment, it's still halftime here between the and what the players say on the court during this game. We've got a little bit of a promo here as Jordan Taylor was mic'd up in his game against the Bristol Flyers recently.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go, fellas. Let's go, fellas. Let's go, fellas. Let's go, man. Energy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Energy. Oh, FYI, I'm mic'd up too, so don't say nothing crazy. Oh, yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that. Pass that. Pass that. Come on, man. See? Oh, hey. Hey, Rob. Go get Luke. Go get Luke. Go get Luke. I'm making new stats. Whatever you do, I do. I don't need that. A whole wardrobe change, right? Boy, looking fly now. Oh, they called the tech. And a tech. One lip. Hell no. Get that strong. Don't get your strong on. Hell no. So I know y'all ain't trying to run into him in practice. Oh. Buddy. That man strong as Ah, damn. Anthony Mason. Man. Get that baby out the street. Get that baby out the street. Come in, chase it. Hey, take him. And you know, sometimes you do gotta admit when you're wrong. That wasn't no unsportsmanlike.
I didn't cool it.
I know, but I'm just saying you can say it for them. Hey, we playing through all that. We playing through all that. Good finish. Good finish. Good finish. Good finish.
I'm a little bit speechless because, yeah, I know you to be a very nice guy, but you seem like one hell of a teammate as well.
Yeah, I just try and support my troops, man. I'm the old head now, so just trying to help lead, help guide these guys along. I had great vets when I was a player, so just trying to pay it forward.
I'm about to make a phone call to Patrick Reshad. I mean, he told me what a great team you were, of course, his former teammate at UBT Cluj-Napoca. But, you know, what was that experience like being mic'd up and knowing that, you know, everything you were saying was being heard? It
was cool, honestly. I'm American, so we grow up with that experience. We grow up getting to listen to the Peyton Mannings, the LeBrons being mic'd up. That's a part of the show. So when we got that opportunity this year, I was pretty excited for it. And like I said, I'm a thespian. What can I say?
Now, of course, I've known you for a year now. You know, speaking to you, know what you like. But there's other players in the league that I would definitely like to hear mic'd up. Of course, we have so many great personalities. But who's one player that you would like to be mic'd up?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. I'll probably have to go with my teammate Dante Grantham. I'd like to hear Tay will have some interesting things to say, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a little bit of a story to tell you, of course. Dribble Adekoya has had to change his jersey to number 21 because at some point during the game, it was ripped, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, that means the game was physical. We touched on that quite a bit, and he's probably the one creating a lot of the aggression and the physicality, and sometimes that comes back to bite you.
Well, there you saw Coach Atiba Lions and his rival tonight, Coach Andreas Kapolis. You know, Atiba Lions played for the Sheffield Sharks and interestingly was about to go play in Israel, you know, where you played, of course, for Hapoel Holon. But in the end, did a U-turn, and of course, stayed with the franchise and now has become the coach ever since a long decade. A man who has, you know, won a couple of trophies in his time here in the British Basketball League. But the recent trophy that he won, say recent more latest, was back in 2016, winning the playoff championship against Leicester Riders. But at the moment, well, good defense by the Flyers. Not a good start there for the Sharks, JT.
And if you're Coach Lions, you might reconsider going to Israel if you got to see that to open the half. That is absolutely crazy as a coach. That drives you nuts. That's inexcusable as a player. You can't come out of the locker room with that lack of focus.
I'm trying to imagine the response you would get if you had Guy Goodis as your coach in Israel. You made that mistake, but at the moment, Brad Green goes in the lane. Traveling violation called against the big man.
More of the same in the second half. 2 turnovers from both sides to start the half. Coach Lions, Coach Kapulis, you really don't know what to say there because I'm sure they addressed it in the halftime locker room, and to come out and do that, it's, you know, it's just, like I said, infuriating as a coach.
Sharks now looking to chip into deficit. A team that did have some success from the perimeter in the second quarter. And you mentioned it, JT, it was the shot selection, building up high percentage looks. As Kipper Nichols goes to that trademark fadeaway, but unable to knock that one down.
And that's a tough shot from Kipper Nichols, but that is his shot. He likes that turnaround fadeaway over the left shoulder, so you live with that.
Jump ball is going to be called. That possession will go to Bristol Flyers because Sheffield Sharks had the first possession. But again, what are we seeing? Offensive rebounds battling for every board from the Flyers.
Graham Bell, that'll keep you in the game and win you a lot of games. Lucas got downhill, got in the paint, and that time didn't finish, but the offensive rebounds will take you a long way.
Well, Flyers almost turned over to get it back. Foul has been called, so going to the free throw line here for the Flyers will be Tevin Ollison.
Got a little lucky there. That was should have been a turnover. Another turnover, a fortuitous bounce there for Ollison. Got it back, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Hopefully, these free throws can settle down the Bristol Flyers and the Sheffield Sharks. I know both sides and both fan bases would love to see a little cleaner game.
Well, we have to give a shout out to one of our viewers currently watching in Slovenia, a man who I've seen on many live streams covering FIBA basketball, Edward Srdic. Well, zdravo and kako se, my friend. How are you doing? And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching live on the YouTube stream, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to British Basketball League on YouTube and all other social media platforms. Let us know where you're watching, which team you're supporting, so we can give you a shout out.
How many languages do you speak?
I struggle with English, and I think being married to Mrs. Bet, I'm actually speaking better Vietnamese than English at the moment. No. The benefits of going to an international school.
That'll pay off. Vietnamese over English anyway.
Well, Sharks now trailing by 8 points. Cook again going in with a tough hook shot, can't get it.
Live with that, though. It's a good adjustment there from Bristol on defense. Same play they went to early in the first half with the empty side ball screen with Pipkins. They iced it and kept it towards the baseline. Sheffield still got a good look out of it, though.
But it's a question I've got to ask you right now. Off that missed shot there by Bennett Cook, how easy was it for Keedy Johnson to dribble up the length of the floor and have an uncontested shot from the free throw line?
Again, high pickups are key. You have to pick up guys like Keedy Johnson around half court to try and slow down their momentum. If he gets that deep and gets that close to the basket, especially if you're Sheffield, they're last in the league in blocks. He's going to get in the paint, he's going to wreak havoc. So you're absolutely right. The guards have to do a better job at stopping the ball and not allowing him to penetrate the defense so easily.
Because this is something your team, you know, we paid a lot of homage last year to your team. You know, my father, of course, former British Basketball League coach Mick Bett, watching from Canada, used to say, Lions, the reason why they are the best is because defensively they are just tough to break down.
Yeah, we had a saying, it's called on-ball stop sign. Coach Ryan Schmidt last year, we used to practice it every day. It was a big saying in the locker room and scouts and pregame, everything. And on-ball stop sign means as soon as your man crosses half court, you're there, foot on the baseline, you're pushing them back to the middle, they're not getting past you, and you're giving resistance high towards half court and early on to kind of put pressure on those guards and slow them down, make them think twice.
Well, we'd also like to give a shout out to Jack, Liv, and Seb, currently watching in Leeds, supporting their fellow Yorkshire team, Sheffield Sharks. And shout out to Paul Nicholson, currently watching from the Plymouth City Patriots. Remember, hit that like button and also subscribe to British Basketball League on YouTube and all other social media platforms. So please give us a like. Ramsey pick and roll here with Bennett Cook, unable to finish it, but the follow-up by Adekoya. Second chance points, something the Sharks really need in this one.
2 missed shots there by Cook, but you love those possessions if you're Coach Lyons. 1, you get a shot up at the basket, and 2, great pace by Ramsey and Pipkins. A 13-foot floater for Cook forces the rotation and the help from the team, from the Flyers, and allows Adekoya to get on the offensive glass and Sheffield to create their own second chance points.
Flyers still with the cushion right now. Only 6 points. They have led by as many as 12. Johnson getting this one on the baseline. Going to isolate here against Rotino. Nowhere to go now. Again, the Sharks coming up with another steal, but can they convert this one? Ramsey pulls up mid-range, hand his face. Tries to compete for his own rebound, but unable to secure it.
Tough shot there by Ramsey. That's a pull-up from 17 feet that was contested. I'd rather you just take the three-pointer there and get the value for the shot. But it started, that was great defense by Rotino on Keedy Johnson. You know, that was a mismatch there. That's what the Flyers wanted, and Rotino stood up to the test.
Well, it will be a sideline possession. That's going to be the 3rd team foul against Sheffield Sharks. Only one more to give here in the third quarter. Keedy Johnson going all the way, followed by Brad Green. He can't finish it. Another offensive board and a fourth team foul is going to be called against Sheffield Sharks. No more to give here in the third quarter.
Again, no shot blockers down there means that there's no on-ball stop sign to the basket. The Flyers and the Sharks both should be trying to get in the paint as much as possible, put as much pressure on the defense. And no shot blockers also means more rotation, which means easier offensive rebounds, as you see Brad Green got on the glass again there.
Lucas getting caught in a double team off the ball screen. They still have to force this one up in the corner. Sharks able to survive this one. Can they push this?
Shout out to Routinho there with great defense 2 times in a row on quicker players there.
Well, KJ is going to get called for the foul, and that's the first team foul against Bristol here in the third quarter. Still a 6-point game, relatively low-scoring game here in the British Basketball League.
Yep, still sloppy. Sheffield has struggled to score the ball all year long. 76 points a game, that's 9th in the league, which is shocking considering you have guys like Jalen Pipkins and DeVerl Ramsey, and that guy right there, Jordan Routinho, who is that's a welcome sign for Coach Lyons to see him get going, knocking down the outside shot. Only 22%, I believe, on the year. So that's something, hopefully he can continue that there.
Big three-pointer coming from the man, Jordan Routinho, cutting it down a three-point ball game. We're trying to come in with a double team. Brad Green getting blocked by the backcourt, on the backboard. I think we got a foul called here again.
Double
no, maybe
dribble.
not.
Look like double dribble. I'm not sure
right now
how they got to that call. Tough break there from Sheffield. A good defensive possession. Good offensive possession really as well. You know, they got the ball to Green, and Sheffield did a good job of collapsing the defense at the right time. Green's got to do a better job at being strong, using his big body, and finding a shooter on the perimeter when the defense collapses like that.
Splits the defense down. Goes up, draws a foul. He'll go to the free throw line. He was in the process of shooting, but now Sheffield will be sending Bristol to the free throw line with any more fouls here in the third. With 6:39 to go, Bristol do have a 3-point lead.
You look up and Tejan Lucas is back in the paint again. And the difference there that time, he got fouled. He kind of lost the ball. When he lost the ball, he was kind of able to gather his balance, take the contact, and go up strong. A couple times this game, he's kind of rushed getting into the air. Maybe gotten hit, maybe not. But when he rushes, he gets off balance, and that's when he gets himself in trouble. So a nice job there by Lucas to make that adjustment.
Well, Lucas' favorite player as a kid was Allen Iverson, but as he grew up, his favorite player then became the King, of course, but also a player with a little bit of common background, as he also played at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. My mother is from Racine, actually. It's about 30 minutes from Milwaukee, so I got a lot of love for the Mill. I'm still a Minneapolis kid, so it's not that much love, but gotta love the Wisconsin connection.
Well, Cook, unable to battle for the offensive board, goes out of bounds. The possession will go back to the Bristol Flyers. I don't think he agrees with that one, though.
Yeah, we never agree with any of those calls, to be honest with you.
Well, Cook coming up with still a big man. Seldom do you see a big man pick up a play, but you like to see that, of course.
One thing that I've loved about this game, it seems we have a lot of big fellas who are nimble on their feet. You got Leslie Smith, Graham Bell, Bennett Cook getting in the mix there, Brad Green in the first half. You gotta love the big fellas who can move their feet and move around and be graceful, should we call it.
Well, free throws coming up again here for Bristol Flyers. The problem now is Sheffield. We haven't even played halfway through the third quarter. So Bristol are in the penalty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you do like buying basketball jerseys and you want to get one here in the United Kingdom, make sure you go to Hoopin and Luton, and also follow Elliot Hoopin and Luton on Twitter at @NLuton. He's currently watching this game at home. And the best place to buy your British Basketball League jerseys from Hoopin and Luton.
What was your favorite basketball jersey as a kid?
Well, it used to be 23 for Chicago Bulls. Then it became 23 of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I have both of them at home. I've never worn them, actually.
I had a number 8 baby blue Kobe jersey with the Los Angeles in cursive writing.
Well, that's old school. That is.
Got it for Christmas. Yep. Wish I still had it.
Bristol looking to extend their 6-point lead. In and around the defense at one referee's called a defensive foul. Udansky looks like he's called a hook. Interesting.
Dansky's a EuroLeague ref. I think the right call there. Tajon Lucas trying to get back in the paint. I think he wrapped his left arm there around the defender. I think that was the right call.
Six-point lead to the Bristol Flyers. Can Sheffield chip into the deficit? Adequate now getting the ball here at top of the key.
Adequate missed him there. Missed Routinho rolling to the basket. That's good offense. You got to capitalize on possessions like that.
Oh, he is on fire at the moment.
Routinho with another three, and you love to see it if you're a Sheffield Sharks fan and if you're Coach Lyons. That's exactly what you need to get this offense going.
Well, shifting in and around the defense, it goes in with a little finger roll. Adequate trying to come out and take the charge, but it was to no avail at that point.
I don't know. I don't have that type of balance, so I can't give too much commentary on that, but that was a Euro Bristolian step right there with the sweet finger roll.
You finally give it into it now.
Yeah, you know, if credit deserves credit, man. I'm no hater.
Sharks trying to respond down the other end, unable to get the three-point play. But he will go to the free throw line. Pipkins, you like to see that aggressive drive to the basket, as he does reward himself with 2 free throws.
Pipkins getting a little funky on the other end, too, with the little jelly. Just missed it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go to a short break, and we'll be back momentarily.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost the heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of start, and we're running out of clock. I fail once to the start. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Clock 10, what you learn, how many years been working for my flying over.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Well, Jalen Pipkins, 8 points so far this evening. Already has 4 steals, but quite an interesting player with a great background.
Yeah, absolutely. He's coming out of Purdue Fort Wayne. That's a mid-major in the States, and for those that don't know, it's extremely difficult to come out of those mid-majors and play at a high level professionally. He mentioned that his dad pushed him to have high expectations. Nothing was ever good enough for him, he said, so that pushed him to pay attention to every little detail and part of the game. And you see that showing up in his offensive game, from his mid-range to his three, to him getting downhill and finishing at the rim. He's extremely efficient right now, and he's really playing at an MVP level.
Making the second free throw, cutting it down a 4-point ball game, but another steal there by the Sharks. And we saw this in the first half. They are very relentless when putting that full court pressure on a dead ball.
And they are not going to go away. We mentioned that at the top of the broadcast. They're extremely gritty. Again, led by Jalen Pipkins. This time, it's Terrell Allen getting the steal and the lay-in. And if you're Bristol, you have to take care of the basketball. Otherwise, this one might get away from you.
It's a tough play, of course, but simply, you being a point guard yourself, you become the backbone of your offense, especially because ultimately you are the facilitators, you are the floor generals, and you have to take care of the ball.
Yeah, and you know what's being a point guard, honestly, is easier than it's ever been because you look on the court. With my team specifically, we have so many ball handlers, from Matt Morgan, Sam Decker, Tariq Phillip, and Bristol and Sheffield both as well have many ball handlers. So it's really more about communication than physical ability now, more than ever.
Bristol again going in with that tough Euro step, but Graham Bell gets the offensive ball, but that is going to be a 24-second violation, unable to get anything in that offense. And now Sheffield, well, Bristol trying to say the ball did touch the rim.
Yeah, that was tough. I thought it missed the rim. Ollison went back to that Euro Bristolian step, and this time I think Sheffield might have got away with a little bit of a foul, but the refs are going to get here together and let us know what's going on.
Well, here's a look at the replay. No, I don't think it did, no.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Might as well scream and holler, though, if you got a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Ed Udansky, one of the best referees here in the British Basketball, as we mentioned, is a EuroLeague referee as well.
Yeah, extremely. You know, it's difficult to go from the British Basketball League to EuroLeague.
Well, I think they've called it. So it's going to be a fresh 14 here for the Bristol Flyers.
Oh, wow, and I think they got that one wrong. You know, referees are human too, so they can't get everything right, but you know, that's one of those ones where you actually, as a fan of the game, you don't want to see the ball go in the basket because it was should have been Sheffield ball.
Well, that could have been a 5-point deficit for the Bristol Flyers. Pipkins here, giving this one up, finding Idle Rock. Foul has been called on the ground. It's only going to be, well, that's the last team foul here for Bristol Flyers. So any more fouls in Sheffield will go to charity strike. 4:02 to go here in the third quarter.
Idle Rock ends up getting the foul right there. I would have liked to see him swing the ball one more time, get that thing moving, and it would have been an empty side drive for, I believe, Terrell Allen. But you can't fault him. Idle Rock had 20 points last outing against Plymouth, trying to find his rhythm. He is a bucket. He's averaging 8 points right now in only 16 minutes.
Idle Rock in the corner, goes for the three, and finally, Sheffield take the lead here in the second half.
There he goes. He's going to put that thing up. Some people pass it to their teammates, others pass it to the basket. He's good at passing it to the basket and finding a way to get it to go in.
That's now the 7th three-point field goal of the game here for the Sharks. Thomas Edwards looking to respond as he regains the lead for the Flyers.
That's a tough move right there, going right to left. He's right-handed, finishing through the left hand. Did you know that he took a year off of basketball?
He was coaching, I believe, wasn't he?
Coaching and come back looking like that. He kind of, man, Iron Man over there, you know. I made a little joke about him. He looks like Anthony Mason, but, you know, that's that is no small feat to take a year out of the game and come back and play at a professional level, both mentally and physically. That's an extreme challenge. So shout out to him for being able to put his body and mind through that challenge.
I'm starting to wonder, would he prefer the comparison to Charles Oakley?
I can't give him that. That man might be Anthony Mason's nephew.
Well, it's now a 1-point lead still here to the Flyers. Chance to try and build the cushion yet again. Smith finding Thomas Edwards, going back to the left hand, a bit of contact, no foul called there. Gets his own rebound. And again, second chances, and there you can see the response of Rafa Thomas Edwards roaring to the sky.
And the response was well warranted. He went to the hole, took his time. Honestly, every player on the floor right now could take a lesson from his book. He took it, missed the first layup, but he was under control, which allowed him to get his own rebound, not once, but twice.
Another misattempt there for the Sharks, and you can see the momentum definitely hasn't shifted in their favor after taking the lead, but again, they come up with a steal. Can they chip into this one? Pipkins hanging in the air, nowhere to go. Good defense by Leslie Smith.
Good, great defense by Leslie Smith. Textbook, goes vertical at the rim, and that's taught by coaches, and the refs tell you if you go vertical at the rim, you know, Pipkins creates all the contact there. That's no foul. It's a great no call and great defense by Leslie Smith.
Well, they are well over their average for turnovers, and at the moment, bringing back in DeVell Ramsey into their backcourt. You know, key thing, of course, Sharks now moving into their new arena, and you know, we've heard from their owner, Yuri Matishin, that the revenues are going to go up 40%, and it's so imperative right now. The teams are playing in their own arenas here in the British Basketball League.
The British Basketball League is making strides every minute, every hour, every day, it seems. Shout out to the CEO, Aaron Radin. He's doing a great job at putting a really viable league together. I know that's no small task. And also shout out to all the owners and all the organizations getting on board and trying to make it into a really good product for our fans.
Bristol still leading by 3 points. Trying to go for the isolation, the low block. Again, coming up with second chances, but this time Sheffield able to scramble for a loose ball.
That's a bit unnecessary by Allison. He had his man beat, he had him on his hip, and he jumped sideways to create contact, threw himself off balance. He could have just gone straight up and finished over.
Ramsey has struggled so far here from the field. Only one field goal tonight here for DeVell Ramsey.
DeVell Ramsey struggled all year, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, but only 38% shooting. And as you mentioned, 1 assist tonight. That was a good shot for him. That's the shot that could get him into rhythm and get him on track. If you get him and Routinho going, I think you'll see a lot of the problems with Sheffield's offense become rectified.
80 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 10 here on the shot clock for the Sharks. Out of rock here in the low block, trying to isolate. Down the middle, finds Routinho. Again, it's going to be an offensive foul here against Routinho. Not controlling that penetration as the shot clock was expiring.
Routinho in a tough spot there, shot clock expiring. Didn't really have much of a choice. He could have been more under control, but I think it was Allison there kind of had a coffee, a sandwich, and he was waiting for about 3-4 seconds for Routinho to come in there.
That's going to be the third personal foul against Jordan Routinho. It's now 1 minute and 8 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Big minute here going into the fourth quarter. Chance to gain momentum, probably 2-3 possessions. And I should apologize. I guess I shouldn't say coffee. I should have said tea since we're in England.
Hey, come on. I like coffee and the morning tea. I like both. All
right. I've switched over to green tea since I've been in England, so you know.
Oh, that's a crime there.
Good hands there by Adekoya.
Looking to go this one. Yeah, it's got to be another charge. Adekoya out of control there in transition.
You know, he is out of control. That's a heads-up play by Keedy Johnson. As a player, you absolutely hate that call. It's a little bit of an unnatural basketball play. You're not out of control. Like, your momentum is carrying you that way. Not a lot of human beings can be running full speed and just stop on a dime. The action for Adekoya there would have been to kind of veer off to the right and make Keedy Johnson move to his left. In that case, it becomes a block.
Potential 2-for-1 for the Flyers. Leading by 3 points. Sheffield did turn this one around. The biggest the lead has been for the Flyers has only been 12. Flyers now need to get something going here. Salmon's looking to isolate again. Too big, too strong, and just too good.
Good move by Leslie Smith. On balance, under control. Swift feet, big body finish with the left hand. And you see Sheffield doing a nice job of switching Corey Samuels over to that left hand. First half, he hurt him a little bit.
I'm not sure what coach could put. Is he signaling to the ref there's a flop there, maybe?
I think that was a flop. I think he has to get a little bit better at the flop term. That's a pretty universal term, so not sure what he was doing. But yeah, I think he's asking for the flop.
I'll have to text him later and ask him that.
Yeah.
I'll take the recording of that.
Let me know what you find.
Well, final 14.3 seconds here in the third quarter. Sharks would like one last attempt to chip into the deficit.
You want to go at about 9 seconds here, 8-9 seconds. Sheffield going a little too late. I don't think they're going to get a good shot here.
Ramsey looking like Allen Iverson. Step back, and the answer for the Sharks is DeVell Ramsey. That is a tough play. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the third quarter, it's a 3-point deficit, but we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're so high, it's achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when a ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Oh, can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. Let's see this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
Can you believe it?
We are British basketball.
Welcome back, British Basketball League fans here. The final quarter about to get underway. Bristol Flyers with a slender lead against the Sheffield Sharks, but let's go back to the answer. This man, DeVell Ramsey, what a way to end the third quarter.
That's what he does. He makes tough shots. He made me look stupid. I did not think they were going to get a good shot off, but I know firsthand he had a tough step back against me last year on the sideline, similar to that shot there, and hopefully that'll lead to momentum for the Sharks as they start the fourth quarter off good, going right back to Bennett Cook, and that's kind of how they started the game. So interesting game plan here by Coach Lyons.
Well, here's the foul called against Smith. That's not the worst foul in the world, because Bennett Cook, as good as he is, not always the most consistent free throw shooter.
Absolutely. I believe only 34% on the season. Excuse me, 55% on the season. So like you said, not a terrible foul. As long as he's not in foul trouble. It looks like they're not even a shooting foul. Which
Wow,
is,
it's gonna be a baseline ball, yeah.
That's, and Bennett Cook making all type of reactions, crossing his arms, hands on hips, which is completely, there you go.
Oh, they changed it now. I was gonna say that was definitely in the process of shooting the ball.
Yeah, Bennett Cook had reason to be upset. I know many a London Lions probably would have got a technical foul for that. To shout out to Bennett Cook for keeping his cool there.
What was that game last year? Was it against the Sharks, or who was it against? You guys had 5 technical fouls in one quarter. It could have been 6, but it was called against Ryan Schmidt, and it was Luke Nelson's father in the crowd who said something.
You know what? I'll be the first to admit we did a lot of crying last year, a lot of complaining, but that was probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Yeah, Luke's dad reacted to a foul in the stands and got a technical foul. We got a technical foul for Luke's dad. And
I remember that. And I remember when the tech was called, he got right up out of his seat. I remember it saying, "It was me, it was me."
Which obviously led to us crying more, saying, that was someone in the stands. That was the first time I knew that was Luke's dad, actually.
Well, Luke Nelson's father, a legend in British Basketball League, also played for my father in the 1993-94 season.
Super cool seeing those two accomplishing what they've accomplished in the British Basketball League. Especially as an American, you get to see Ken Griffey Jr., LeBron, hopefully, and his son. So honestly, it's on par, relatively speaking.
Well, Samuels hits down the three-pointer, making it a 5-point ball game. No foul. Well, I think they have called this one. This is going to be a delayed call, I believe. Kapula's not happy with the decision.
Corey Samuels blowing off his arm there. Not really sure what that means, but he's put in some big minutes for them tonight, as you see. The inside-out play that we've been begging for all night. They finally get it, the post touch. The defense collapses. Corey Samuels there ready to knock it down. And he, like I said, 8 points on the night. Only a 16% three-point shooter on the season, so that's a big shot for him.
Sharks will get this one back. It's going to be the second team foul against Bristol Flyers. The problem for Sheffield Sharks, 16 turnovers here tonight.
Earl Ramsey going to the bench is not going to help that. You kind of don't have a point guard, puts a little more pressure on Pipkins, but hopefully that leads to him being a little more aggressive. A nice move there by Kipper Nichols. There it is again. He's so versatile. You know what I mean? He can step outside and knock down a three. He can post up a smaller guard right there. You see Corey Samuels and forces the help and the foul from Leslie Smith, and he's going to go back to the line for 2.
It's interesting you talk about his versatility, but you know, the one thing I really like about his game is how quickly he is able to identify a mismatch. As you mentioned, He'll go on the perimeter, but how quickly does he go in the low block when he realizes that he has a smaller player defending him?
His IQ makes the game so easy for him. And again, as a coach, as a player, as a teammate, you love that. When you see a guy who can notify mismatches, see where to exploit the defense, it makes the game easier for everybody. In this case, it resulted in 2 free throws for him, but the next time, most likely, it might result in a wide open shot. And for me, I'm 34. I've had a couple hip surgeries. Nothing better than a wide open 3.
Kipper Nichols played at the University of Illinois, leaving in 2020. The only professional team he's ever played for is the Sheffield Sharks here in the British Basketball League. And it's so great, I got to tell you, seeing, like, even yourself, players returning to their teams, something we've seen a lot more in the last few years than we've seen over the last decade.
Continuity is a big thing, not just in basketball, in life. Not to get on my soapbox, but one thing that we preached with the Lions this year, Brett Berman, Yasin Tranos did a great job at keeping the group together. We have 7 returning players, and honestly, that's been big on our success so far.
Well, Samuels into traffic finds Graham Bell unable to hit the 3-pointer. Big rebound from Bennett Cook. Nichols here in transition. Contact, it's going to be a charge. A great defense by Roel Graham Bell.
Basketball, the British Basketball League officials do love the charge. I think they got that one right. Graham Bell, or was that, yeah, Graham Bell got his feet set, got in front of Kipper Nichols. An interesting adjustment we haven't touched on, though, is Coach Lyons decided to go big after Bristol was beating him up on the boards. You got Kipper Nichols, you have Jabril Adekoya and Bennett Cook on the floor. Something that we haven't seen a lot from Sheffield so far this year, especially in their last few games. A nice adjustment.
Sharks were able to take the lead in the 3rd quarter, but unable to gain the momentum. Flyers only leading by 3 points. Thomas Edwards now down the lane, draws a blocking foul against Bennett Cook. The question is, should that count here? That is a tough play called against. No, they counted it, so it's going to be an +1 potential. 3-point play coming for Rafa Thomas Edwards. That's a tough move.
Very tough move, very strong move by Thomas Edwards. Uses that big frame to absorb the contact and get the ball up to the rim. Shout out to the officials for changing the call. You don't see that a lot.
Well, a man who spent last season coaching in Germany has returned, and at the moment, his return could be the difference here for the Bristol Flyers. Currently leading by 6 points with 8 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
Thomas Edwards has been huge this half. He's had a really big half, attacking the rim, bringing energy, rebounding the basketball, offensive rebound, 14 offensive rebounds here for Bristol in the game. Adekoya with a nice face-up jumper. And honestly, coming into the game, I thought I would see that matchup a little bit more. That is going to be a nightmare for Brad Green. And I think that Coach Kapoulis might have to look at that moving forward.
Tough play there by Adekoya, shooting over the 6'11" Brad Green. Still a 4-point lead to the Flyers. Going in with the Eurostep, and another turnover. Sheffield need to convert this one. Pipkins hanging in the air. Again, no foul call. Good defense, I guess, from Thomas Edwards. Bristol unable to go for the, oh no, it's going to be their ball on the baseline.
Can't lie to you, those are a couple of egregious no calls there. I hope I can't get fined for talking about the refs right now. But those are a couple tough no calls on both sides.
Well, no, they signaled Bristol will, but it's gone back to Sheffield now. So yeah. I guess they've changed the decision. So
yeah, that was right. That was clearly off of Bristol on the offensive rebound.
Sheffield looking to make this a 1-possession game. Pipkins in a bit of trouble. Finds Adekoya and a nice little dump down. Well, the bounce pass made to Jabril, and he makes it now a 2-point lead against the Bristol Flyers.
Nice action there by Coach Lyons. He sent Kipper Nichols on a decoy rip cut, which is from elbow to baseline to kind of as a decoy to occupy the defender. And then Pipkins on an Iverson cut, which is across the free throw line, and then got a nice pocket pass to Adekoya for the layup.
Well, they left him wide open, uncontested, unable to hit the 3-pointer. But Brad Green draws a foul against Sheffield on the rebound. So we'll be their ball on the baseline.
And that's what happens. Good offense by Bristol. You end up nice penetration, good ball movement. You end up with a wide open shot in the corner, and that opens up an opportunity for offensive rebounding. Number 15 on the night for Bristol.
6:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Timeout. These two teams will talk it over, but you know, it's been you can see right now more so mental fatigue with these two teams. They're just trying to get to the final hurdle of this game. But I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to come out on top?
Ooh, you're putting me on the spot. Well, first of all, you know, we've seen the physicality that we expected. It's a low-scoring game, a lot of turnovers, aggressive play. Right now, it seems that Sheffield kind of has the momentum, but Bristol's size and ability to get on that offensive glass, I think, is going to pull them through unless Sheffield can do something about that. Those second chance points are just going to wear you down.
Tomorrow is going to be between the Surrey Scorchers as they host the Cheshire Phoenix. The Phoenix, of course, they've got a very competitive team, but Surrey is still looking for that first victory here this season in the British Basketball League. The Sharks on Sunday, they'll be hosting the Newcastle Eagles, who are currently playing against the Leicester Riders. And obviously other big games you can look out for. The London Lions, Jordan Taylor, he'll be in action as they host the Manchester Giants. That'll be at 4:30 p.m. I'll be commentating that game, so.
Well, talk nice. Talk to me nice. Say some nice things about me, you know, make me look good.
Plymouth City Patriots, they'll be hosting Bristol Flyers. They met on the opening day this season in the British Basketball League. I'm just hoping you're going to give me a 30-point ball game to talk about, because I want to talk to the fans in France, Israel, and Turkey that know you, of course.
I got about, you know, I might have 40 for you if you add in Matt Morgan's 32.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be tweeting all the fans in Limoges, Galatasaray, also in Tokyo as well.
Yeah, shout out to Tokyo. Ran into a couple fans after the Venice game, Euro Cup, who were from Tokyo and another part of Japan, which is cool. Big rebound there by Kipper Nichols. Keep Bristol off the glass, and Sheffield has a chance.
Sheffield with another chance. The last time they trailed by 2 in the third, they made a three-pointer that gave them a 1-point lead. Will we see the same? Almost turning it over. Adekoya had the three. Doesn't go for it. Just throws an out-of-control pass to Pipkins, but it gets another turnover.
Coach Lyons went back to the same set that got him the last basket. A little adjustment. They sent Kipper Nichols out to the opposite side corner, which I think was a mistake. I think that allowed Bristol to kind of load the defense up and clog the paint, which didn't allow Jalen Pipkins to make a play. Tough shot there by Tajon Jacob, or Lucas, excuse me.
Well, again, as you mentioned, a very tough shot, making it a 4-point ball game yet again. Now we're under 6 minutes here in the fourth. Nichols goes for a deep three, cutting it down to a 1-point ball game as Kipper slices into the deficit.
Big shot there, and that's where Sheffield has the advantage. They have Adekoya and Kipper Nichols that puts Brad Green out on the perimeter, turns him into a defender. I know I said he's nimble earlier, but I don't think he's quite that nimble. It's an offensive mismatch. The challenge comes in keeping him off the glass and out of the paint on the defensive side for Sheffield.
That's the 8th three-pointer of the game for the Sharks, shooting over 50% from the perimeter. Again, something that could go in their favor. I mean, Bristol, a team as we've seen so far in their opening game against the Plymouth City Patriots, they are a team that like to shoot for the perimeter, but only 30% this evening from the arc.
Yeah, Bristol, that's right on cue for them for the season. 28% on the season, 7th in the league. Sheffield's 33% and 8th in the league. Bristol's 9th in the league. Sheffield is 8th in the league. But Sheffield getting it going. They have good shooters. A big part of that is Jordan Routinho finally finding his stroke from downtown. And obviously, as we just saw, Kipper Nichols finding his stroke, which he is able to do as well.
You know, another remarkable stat in this game. If Bristol are to win this game, collectively as a team, they have 37 rebounds. 15 of those have been offensive boards. That is remarkable.
Yeah, again, right on par for them for the season. 13.5 offensive rebounds a game per year. That's tops in the BBL. 4th total rebounds in the league. So, you know, they're sticking to their game plan. They're doing what they do well.
Well, one thing a team of Lions will definitely want to reflect on this game has been the turnovers. 18 so far in this game for Sheffield.
18 in the game, but only 6 here in the second half, which has been big, a big turnaround, and it's been a reason for their success, a little bit of their success offensively, as I think Brad Green got away with a couple of fouls there.
Well, an unsportsmanlike fouls can be called against Kipper Nichols, and that's a frustration play, you have to admit.
Absolutely, and that's tough. I think Brad Green got him on the arm once, maybe even twice. You don't end up with the ball, and then you just turn around. And again, that's one of those things that we talked about, though. It's frustration, but I think the natural thing is to go after the ball, and it's a weird reaction. You reach over his arm, and it looks crazy. It's not a dirty play. It's not unsafe, but I think the right call by the officials.
The only problem with it now is you're trailing by 3 points. You're going to give them 2 free throws and you're going to give the ball back. So this potentially, well, could be a 6-point ball game depending on the next play, or 7, you know, whatever they go for afterwards. But it's those costly errors you just cannot afford to make at this point.
For sure, and you get lucky that Keedy Johnson misses the free throw, because last thing you want to see is him finding his rhythm late in this game. It's an interesting call there, too, from Sheffield. You know, Kipper Nichols is under the basket with Brad Green. He just hit a 3. I think your best bet is to pull Brad Green away from the basket, make him slide his feet, make him slide those puppies, and use Kipper Nichols' speed and quickness, or if it's Jabril Adekoya, whoever it is.
Keedy Johnson making the second one. 4-point lead to the Flyers. Splits the defense down, going again with the Euro Bristolian step. And now it's a 6-point ball game.
Listen, Tajon Lucas has attacked the paint, kind of how we said Keedy Johnson does this entire game. If he continues to improve and be under control when he gets in the paint, I think that Bristol will be better.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break as we'll be back for the last 4 minutes and 46 seconds.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. There must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're so high, it's achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail what's gonna stop. I am unbeatable, I am unbeatable. Clock's turn, watch you learn. How many years been working for my
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
The final showdown between the Bristol Flyers and the Sheffield Sharks is about to get underway as we're in the latter stages of the fourth quarter. At the moment, 6-point lead to the Flyers, but that unsportsmanlike foul called against Kipper Nichols, you know, maybe it could go against him badly, but we'll find out.
Throughout the year for Sheffield, this has been Jalen Pipkin's time. He took over the game against, and there he goes, right on cue in that midi, like Kobe. Looked very Kobe-esque there, too. He took the game over against Surrey and got them a win in OT, so look forward to him kind of getting going here and carrying Sheffield down the stretch.
I definitely think he heard you on that one, because he definitely stepped up and made a crucial mid-range play for the Sharks. Well, the problem for Sheffield is, I mean, you like to see that from Adekoya, putting his hand and reaching, but, you know, they're in team fouls now.
They are in bonus, but listen, I love Jabril Adekoya. I loved him last year in Leicester. He's, again, so versatile, similar to Thomas Edwards. He can do a lot of different things, play in a lot of different positions. Look at him down there guarding the big fella. Significant height disadvantage, but fighting against Brad Green.
Well, big step back, can't get it, but another offensive board here for the Flyers. And they go for a deep three. Three is up. Three is good, and that's big time.
That is the backbreaker we talked about right there. Graham Bell flying out of nowhere. It's a bird, it's a plane. I don't know, it's not Superman, but Graham Bell gets the rebound and finds Ollison for a backbreaker 3, pushes it to 7, and that's the biggest fear you have when you're Sheffield. They've struggled with it all year long, defending, protecting their glass, and killing possessions, as we say. 16th
offensive board for the Flyers, but also only the 4th three-pointer by Tevin Ollison for the Bristol Flyers as well. But that could be the game changer. 4-0-2 Sheffield. If they are to lose this game, one thing he's not going to want to give his team is any donuts, because when they finish the last one, nobody calls box out.
No one calls box out, and Graham Bell, again, 1.3 offensive rebounds in 16 minutes per game this year. Tonight, 4 offensive rebounds in 25 minutes, only 3 points, 7 rebounds, and that's just a huge difference maker we've talked about all night. And when you find a guy like Ollison, that's what he does. That's how he gets going. You know, as a shooter, that's one of your eyes light up when you see one of your big men get an offensive rebound. You're almost like, oh, this is my chance to get going. It's a free shot at the basket. Typically, the ball's coming from under the basket out to the three-point line. Not necessarily there, but that's exactly how you practice every day in the gym. So it's really what we call a routine shot.
The great Reggie Miller once said, you might hit your first 6 shots of the game, but when you come down to the crunch time, those 6 shots might not mean anything. Tevin Ollison was only 1 for 8 from the perimeter this evening, and that was his second three-pointer, but that could be crucial.
Absolutely, and that's something that you love about these guys, from Bristol and from Sheffield. None of them fear anything, extreme confidence, as you see it right there. Terrell Allen getting in the mid-range again, as we talked about. Sheffield's so good there. Guess I just showed my age saying kids too. I'm 34, huh? A lot of these guys are 24, 25.
Hey, you're only 1 year older than me, man. Don't make me look old as well.
You old too, man.
Well, 5-point lead here. Calling the double team here, having to give this one up. Going to Brad Green, goes out of bounds, but takes a deflection off Jordan Bertino. So we'll be baseline to the Flyers with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Wild pass there from Graham Bell. He got lucky that Bertino barely put a fingertip on it, hustling back to get in front of his man.
Sharks need a big defensive play, but they cannot commit any more fouls. Bristol, on the other hand, they do have 1 foul to give here in the 4th quarter. And a 5-point cushion. Thomas Edwards now dribbling into traffic. And that's going to be a 24-second violation. Bristol choking under intense pressure due to the suffocated defense by the Sharks.
Sheffield with 2 good possessions, offensive and defensively, to respond to that big offensive rebound and the 3. Let's see what they can do here. I expect them to go to Jalen Pipkins and allow him to make a play.
Tino giving this one up. Pump fakes. Oh, he's got to go up with that one. Well, they go for the 3. 3 is up. It saves him. Well, he was wide up. I'm looking at your reaction, JT. He was wide open, but was bailed out for a 3-pointer by Edelrock.
He was wide open, but I've been preaching all game. Get in the paint, collapse the defense, make good decisions. He could have shot a semi-off-balance floater. He found Edelrock, who can shoot the ball and score. And shout out to Terrell Allen for making that big play for his team.
Well, there's a kick out. Thomas Edwards misses last one. Again, rattles in and out. The follow-up, no good. That's 2 offensive rebounds, and Brad Green's going to go to the free throw line here for the Flyers.
And what'd you say about the donuts?
Well, I don't think he's going to want to share any Krispy Kremes anytime soon with his teammates, or his players, excuse me.
Another 2 offensive rebounds there for Bristol. That is going to break Sheffield's back. You respond to the 3 with a little 5-0 run of your own. 16 offensive rebounds for Bristol. Let's see what Green does here at the line.
Well, again, not the worst foul in the world. I mean, as great as Brad Green is in the low block, post-up moves, jump hooks, getting into good positions. Now you can see, I think I'm just telling him the green light isn't on at the moment.
Yeah, and they got lucky there that Ollison didn't finish the first offensive rebound, and actually a smart foul there on Green, 35% at the line as he misses both. And Bertino,
oh, they've called a foul here against Edelrock, I believe. Wow. I'd have to see the replay because it looked like the rebound was secured by, yeah, I thought Terrell Allen got fouled, but they're going to call this an Edelrock. Let's have a look. Well, Jordan Taylor, you are the expert. I'm going to let you break this one down.
Listen, Ralph Thomas Edwards does a great job at getting inside position on Adekoya. I thought Adekoya did a good job at kind of laying off, maybe a little nudge from behind there. I don't personally see that as a foul, but again, I don't get paid to referee. I'm an expert in complaining to referees, not necessarily making calls. But Ralph Thomas Edwards, there he is again. You know, he's making another play. He's impacting the game. He's had a huge second half. His 3rd offensive rebound. Actually, that won't even go down as an offensive rebound, but it should.
Again, crushing there for the Sheffield Sharks just when they thought they were going to come up with a loose ball. Thomas Edwards unable to convert it, but it's still a 3-point lead here to the Flyers.
First free throw that Ralph Thomas Edwards has missed this season.
That's incredible. Thomas Edwards now, he's going to get called for the foul. It's the final one for the Flyers to give away. Any more, Sharks will go to the charity stripe. At the moment, it will be a baseline ball to Sheffield.
Not necessarily how you want to use that last team foul before you get into the bonus. Wasn't an imminent threat to score. Maybe you can just lay off and kind of let him cut through, especially as strong as Thomas Edwards is. There's Pipkin again in that mid-range, just missing. That's the shot you want if you're Sheffield, though. You live with that.
Again, a good shot, but it was well contested. Reed looking for the post up here. Makes a tough pass. 4 seconds down. Flyers have to get something going. Good defense and another 24-second violation. Under 2 minutes to go. Bristol unable to make it a 2-possession lead, but Sheffield will get it back. But, you know, here in the fourth quarter, JT, they have struggled to tie the game up on very many occasions.
They have, and there's another opportunity. I want to shout out Keedy Johnson real quick, though. I love his energy. I love his tenacity. Hasn't got the good end of the whistle. He struggled tonight, but he, like I said, is relentless. He keeps going and going and going, almost like the Energizer Bunny. Shout out to him, supreme confidence.
Sheffield can't cut this down to a 1-point deficit. Maybe tied up if they go for a three-pointer. Remember, they do have 8 3-pointers here tonight. Finding Bennett Cook, caught in a double team.
It's the same play they've ran quite a few times. Great job by Bristol to adjust and a shift over to that from that heavy side to stop Cook. There's Pipkin getting in the paint. You get a good shot. He's got to knock that down.
Rock goes for the follow-up three. Still can't get it. It's block going out of bounds, but they save it yet again. Sheffield fighting with everything.
Sheffield getting on the offensive glass themselves.
Pipkin's coming off the ball screen. Takes a tough mid-range, puts it up, and cuts it down to a 1-point ball game right in the face of Brad Green.
Like we mentioned, we talked about the Kobe influence. All these players these days, it's Kobe or LeBron. You see a lot of Kobe, the left to right cross, the slight fade right in the eye.
And gets the and one, and he's going to go to the free throw line to make this a potential 4-point lead for the Flyers.
Kind of took a little break there, but guess who's back? Tejan Lucas getting downhill, getting in the paint, on balance, takes the bump, finishes over contact, and that's the biggest finish of the night for him. The free throw is going to be imperative.
Yeah, just uses the bank to perfection. And a chance now to make this a 2-possession game with 58.0 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Just gets it to rattle in, getting the shooter's roll. And the home crowd, they love this one. Sheffield need a bucket here, trailing by 4 points. Rock calls for a quick three. 3 is up, 3 is good. And it's back to a 1-point ball game. Ice cold in the veins.
Big time shots all around. Tejan Lucas, Idle Rock, Jalen Pipkins, these young men are stepping up to the challenge and making tough shots when called upon.
Neither team with any fouls to give her at the moment. Lucas trying to go for the step back. Spinning around, turning it, no, yeah, traveling violation. Turns it over, and Sheffield have a chance to take the lead, maybe win this game, as there's gonna be 4.8 seconds between game and shot clock. But Lucas, maybe if he just got the dribble there behind the back right, could have found a bit of time and separation to go for the mid-range, but he turns it over.
You know, sometimes at the end of games, all coaching goes out the window. You know, you just need players to step up and make a big shot. It's kind of like you're at the park. Every player's done it, that 5, 4, 3, 2, all of that. You got to step up, and you got to put your bag on display, and we'll see who's got the Louis Duffel with them here down the stretch.
It's going to be a big timeout here. But more importantly, Bristol Flyers must come up with a defensive stop. Since winning that opening game here by 17 points against the Plymouth City Patriots, they win again at home, losing to the Newcastle Eagles. And of course, losing to your team, Jordan, on the 28th of September. But more recently, a very, very tough defeat for them on the road against Leicester Riders. They don't want to go 4 games in a row winless.
Yeah, and they took that loss against the Riders at home, got down big by 20 in the first quarter. And, you know, they started out slow. Today they started out quick, but this is a good Bristol team. They, like you mentioned, dropped a couple games. They've had a tough schedule, so you kind of don't hold that against them. Losses to, like you said, Leicester, the Lions, and Newcastle Eagles. Those are teams to be amongst the top of the table. But, you know, as you lose so many guys throughout the year, I believe only 7 or 8 guys, you lose only 2 or 3 returners. So it's going to take a little bit of time for them to mesh and gel, but have no doubt that Coach Kapoulis will have them informed as the season goes on.
Last week, Sheffield Sharks lost on the road. I'd say 2 hours down the road from here in Plymouth. They were down by as many as 20, but brought it back. And almost took the lead in that game, but they don't want to go 2 games on the road in the Southwest winless.
You're absolutely right. Also a team that they dropped the game to Plymouth, that probably something that they normally wouldn't do. So a very important game for the table here.
Rock made the big 3 on the previous play. Got by Graham Bell. Pump fakes, goes in the mid-range. Again, way off the mark, doesn't get it. Again, was that the right shot to take, JT?
I don't like it. Idle Rock's been hot. He had 20 last game. It looked like they wanted to start or finish how they started, going inside to Bennett Cook. Seems like he kind of bailed out of the play and you left Idle Rock there on the island. If I'm Coach Lions, I'm living and dying with my man Jalen Pipkins. He's a big-time player. He's got that Kobe bag, which, as many of you know, that means he likes to take the last shot. So interesting move to go away from Pipkins. The benefit is they put a 35% free throw shooter on the line now.
Terrell Allen fouling out of the game. DeVell Ramsey coming back in. Hasn't featured since he took that shot to the nose. But not a bad foul here, as you mentioned. Brad Green at the free throw line. Misses last 2. Makes this one. 2-point lead to the Flyers.
Tells you a lot about a player when they shoot 35% from the free throw line. 35. That means that's a baseball. It's a baseball stat. And steps up and knocks down a free throw. Shout out to Brad Green.
Missed again. That's going to go out of bounds, but that'll be Sheffield. But I was just about to say, Flyers, if he does miss this, they do have 19 offensive rebounds. But Sheffield are going to call timeout, trailing by 2 with 8.7 seconds left here in the game.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary. That's honestly something that you want to address in practice. There's no way that you can almost give up an offensive rebound in that situation.
Well, big play. Now, again, you mentioned Jalen Pipkins. DeVell Ramsey's only just come off the bench, but, you know, you got to go to Pipkins now.
Definitely go to Pipkins. I think you run the same exact play, except you go to Pipkins. I think you maybe run a decoy rip cut that they've been doing all game, which is, again, you maybe draw Ratinho. I think you bring Ratinho from that elbow into the corner, and then maybe even set a ball screen with Cook and Jalen Pipkins. I think the defense has to stay home on Ratinho on that strong side, which allows Pipkins to either get in that mid-range or find Bennett Cook in the pocket if you have enough time. Otherwise, I think you just put Jalen Pipkins on an island and let him go to work.
Sheffield Sharks have made 10 3-pointers tonight out of 18. More 3-pointers and free throws. You got to ask the question right now. Could they go for the money ball to win this one?
You're on the road. You're 2-2. If it was me, I'm shooting the 3. But I'm not out there. So I think you go for Jalen Pipkins is really good in the mid-range. I think you get him in his sweet spot. And if you send it to overtime, I think you have enough where you can get this thing done in overtime.
Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Get the oxygen tank ready. Sharks with a chance to go into overtime or maybe go for the win. They get the ball inbound. Pipkins, nowhere to go here. Puts up a circus shot. The follow-up, no good. No foul called. And the Bristol Flyers, they will escape with a 2-point victory against the Sheffield Sharks. They win this one, 67-65. A big win for the Bristol Flyers.
Tough finish there for Sheffield. Did exactly what you want, I think. Jalen Pipkins, I think he had an opportunity to go for the win there. The defense went under on the screen. He had space to shoot the 3. I think he's just a little more comfortable in that mid-range. Good defense there by Bristol. Maybe a little trip, maybe not, but all in all, Bristol walks out of here with a victory.
5 rebounds short of a double-double. Lucas, I got to ask you, player of the game for you?
Yeah, it was tough. Rafael Thomas Edwards, excuse me. Tajon Lucas, either one could have got it, but the big bucket down the stretch there by Lucas, I think it goes to him. 16, 5, and 1. He was attacking the paint all night. He was relentless. He kept pressure on the Sheffield defense with no shot blocking back there, and I think you gotta go with him.
Well, again, man, as we mentioned, with a bit of a connection to you, of course, going to the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. and also finishing his last year at Brigham Young University, playing 34 games, averaging 10 points per game. But what a finish for him tonight, bringing this franchise to another victory since the opening game. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the statistics from this game. And JT, I got to say to you, the one key stat in this game that goes in favor of the Bristol Flyers, 19 offensive rebounds.
19 offensive rebounds, 45 to 33 rebounding advantage. That is going to be tough to win in any scenario. If LeBron James was out there, if Michael Jordan was out there, it would still be tough to win with that rebounding advantage. Sheffield, 18 assists, 2 above their season average of 16. They turned the ball over too much, but in the end, it was the offensive rebounds and the tough finishing around the basket to John Lucas that got it done for Bristol.
Well, again, there are your statistics from this game. 10 3-pointers came to no avail here for the Sheffield Sharks, but we're going to take a look at some of the other interesting games that will be happening this week in the British Basketball League. Some of the results you've already seen, but tomorrow will be Surrey Scorchers hosting the Cheshire Phoenix. Sharks will be at home to the Eagles. Jordan Taylor's London Lions will host the Manchester Giants, while Plymouth City Patriots, they will host tonight's winners, Bristol Flyers, in the second Southwest Derby this season in the British Basketball League. Well, other games currently going on here in the British Basketball League. Newcastle Eagles currently trailing against the Leicester Riders. That is currently still live. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you for joining us here in Bristol for this epic showdown tonight, in which the Bristol Flyers were able to come up with their second victory this season in the British Basketball League. And JT, I got to tell you, it was a phenomenal game to say the least.
It was a very competitive game. Not always the prettiest game, a little bit sloppy, but a very, very pretty game, a very, very competitive game to watch down to the stretch. And that's what you love to see if you're a British basketball fan. Competitiveness, big shot making, tough defense. And that was a big win for Bristol. Hopefully that'll build some momentum for them, get them back to 2-3, and be able to build and put their season on the right track.
Well, basketball fans currently watching us live here on the British Basketball League YouTube, we thank you for joining us here in Bristol. But for now, have a good Friday evening. Go over and watch the Eagles versus Leicester Riders. But here, it's good night. Thank you, and we'll see you soon for more games here in the British Basketball League.